So I just wanted to share what was on my heart today, what the Lord had given me. Everyone is not qualified to give you advice. Hashtag did they learn a lesson? So there's a difference between good experience and bad experience. Meaning that if the person doesn't learn a lesson in whatever they went through, then they're not going to be able to give you good advice. Now, they may have good intentions, but we have to be careful. We have to use discernment to see whether it's good or not. 1 Corinthians 15:33, do not be fooled. Don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character. So we got to be careful who we're around, because they can give us bad advice. Ezekiel 13:2, it says somehow they prophesy out of their own imagination. So, I'll give you an example. That some people feel like, oh, well, there's no good men left, or there's no good women left, or anything like that. So that is out of their own imagination, right? Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. So it says, lean not to your own understanding. So a person can have 3 bad relationships. Let's give you an example. It's like a woman. They can have three bad relationships, and then they can just say, you know what, it ain't no good men. You know what I'm saying? Now, they're giving you advice based off of the experience, but what they fail to realize is it's actually who they allowed in their life. You know how people say, oh, who we attract? No, it's who we, it's who we give our attention to. Because, there's always, if somebody we see that's no good, we shouldn't be in a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? If they don't point you towards Christ, that's what you're looking for, then that's the thing. Like, I've seen people try to go to the club. I mean, it can happen because God can work anything anywhere. But, you go to the club, you know what I'm saying, and she's wearing a whole bunch of clothes, less amount of clothes, and then you want to turn them into a housewife or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good judgment of that. Like, that person may just want to continue. They might not want to do that, but then they get that person and it don't work out, and they be like, oh, well, there ain't no good men, or it ain't no good women, or something like that. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. So that means that some people, they've been hurt and they feel like that's just how it is. So that's just how it's going to be. Jeremiah 9:8, it says, for their tongues shoot lies like poison arrows. They speak friendly to their neighbors while scheming in their heart to kill them. So you know how somebody, they act like they your friend, and behind your back, they talking. So I heard Pastor Jensen say this. He said, flesh people feed your fear. Spirit people feed your faith. And so what is fear? So fear is false evidence appearing real. So according to that person, to that woman, it may appear as if there are no good men, but that's not the case. I mean, there are some good men left, and there are some good women left. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes 2 good people just don't fit together. So, I mean, that just doesn't mean that there's none left, but we got to be careful, you know what I'm saying, because some people think, and that's why we got to, use discernment and also ask God, you know what I'm saying, and we got to make sure that who we actually talk to is going to give us advice based off of the fact that they learned the lesson. Because if they didn't learn the lesson, you know what I'm saying, then they're going to have that issue. So the person that, says that there's no good men left or good women left, they haven't learned a lesson. The lesson that they should learn was that the person that they chose or who they allowed in their life is not good for them. You know what I'm saying? And so you want somebody that can encourage you, that has morals, that has values, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So we have to be careful. And so this is what is critical in this year, you know what I'm saying, is who we listen to, you know what I'm saying, because if we listen to them, you know what I'm saying, negative people that's always negative or always have something, you know what I'm saying, toxic to say, or it's just, you know what I'm saying, people just like that, man, it's not good to be around, because, they're actually going to, drain your positive energy, your positive way of thinking. And, you know what I'm saying, and you cannot expect anything. So it doesn't matter. So what happens to them, they're always going to find something to say, so that's just that. So we got to be careful who we listen to. Love y'all. God bless.